Glory to the Lord. Let us just give thanks to the Lord because He has been good with us, and we don't have nothing else but just to praise His name, right? And we are here today because we're answering some of the inquiries in regards of some of the degrees that for some people think that are very hard to make. We have in the word of the Lord in Deuteronomy 31:6, which it says, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them. For the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you." It's something really nice to remember. A lot of people they just wonder if they can perhaps take a path and get advantage of it and just go in and work with or not, right? A lot of people nowadays is afraid of lawsuits because they come over. Some people come over with certain complaints, and they go and listen to other people, or maybe they just eventually go and read and make little of investigation and digging into the information in regards of their feelings. And right now we have nothing else but just to let you know that there's some implementations in regards, right, uh, the safety of the people who are willing to take the extra step to go where nobody wants to go. For the people willing to help you finding out what is bothering you. For the people who are willing to invest their time and to find out what's going on with your body, with your environment, with your diet, and with all the things that people are worried about. A lot of people are going to be in the need of changing the lifestyle, which is going to be the first thing. Why do we talk about this? Some people come in and they had complained to me, right, when we go into this chat, and they had said that they went to the doctor, that they went to find out what is it, what they went through, and the difference after coming out from visiting, right, and after some time. But it happens that people never change the lifestyle. And it happens that I know two or three people who were living in an ill environment because the trees, right? The trees in the area were really high, were very wide, and they carried a lot of birds gathering crop and from a little plantation just right beside the cemetery. And a lot of people went around there complaining that the piping system has to cross or was crossing the cemetery, right? And sometimes there was a river just by, and they were subject to so many floods, and the pipings moved after some time, and they broke up. And we have to believe that all the city piping are not going to be changed in one day. There is going to be a savings. There is going to be of making plans, right, to exchange those pipings or to draw another line in some other way. But really, people have to do some sort of like a boiling water. They have to just go and purchase the tablets in order to make the better drinking water if they were drinking from there, or purchase the water bottles, or go to the machines with filters, or purchase a filter and change that each 2 days because the situation was really bad. and even though for the clothing also, because as the piping system were really bad, it was carrying in fleas, right, like fleas and all kinds of little insects that build up underneath the skin, right, and so of humans and animals also, right, and there was the so overpopulation of birds, right, overpopulation of birds and nests, debris and all kinds of dead animals, and there was so many cats, and there was killing. There was really something going on, and when something like this is going on, people have to move away from there, right? So it is sometimes important to sit down and talk to people in regards of what is it, where they live, and how their living environment was, right? Because including the old houses and the old buildings and the condominiums area have their pros, right? And what is not good about it, to the underground engineering, right? Sometimes people get contagious diseases that travel to the piping and have an outbreak through the water tubings, the pipings, right? And that's something really dangerous for everybody, right? And if especially if the people live like around flooding areas or just right beside rivers, there is going to be a lot of debris of all kind dragged through, and which is going to build up where the water is sinking or going meanwhile through the drains, right? These things happen everywhere, all over the world. There is something we cannot avoid, right? But talking about this is when we touch the point and that people have to move away from there in order to better their health. Because it happens that they were not able, or their life they had was not able or strong enough to handle a better a feedback for the human body, right? To be healthy, right? And so sometimes some of the neighbors are not going to be just up to your expectations, and you're gonna be forced. You're gonna be seeing yourself forced to move away from there, and there is really nothing we can do in regards to that. That we had to just move away. Um, Education is one of the best strategies that we all have in order to conquer good health, right? If we teach people how to do their calorie count, how to go by the measurements with the health department in regards of the surroundings. If we check in regards of the build up of their piping, their how their walls and the structures are made of, and even though the roof and all these things are just in place in order to find out what's really happening to people, right? Even though, believe it or not, even though when people don't know what else to do in regards of their health, the same walls, the plankton on the ground, and the same consistency and build up, even though the paint and the way the structures are made of create some sort of like an insect that it creates a certain bite, right? And if the house is like 60, 70 years, maybe 100 years old, even though if it's very well preserved, it will create certain toxins that will create an outbreak or some sort of skin problems or lung problems, right? So there is really nothing we can do in that regards. People have to move away from there, right? When the people is annoying by throwing garbage and disposing unhealthy matter to the streets or to the houses, or if they have strange ways of living and you're afraid that one day you're going to go to work and you have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, by just thinking that people have to get out and walk out at that time is a very stressful people, and just right there the sugar level is going to go up, right? And the blood pressure, right? people is gonna get angry. People is gonna get frustrated. People is gonna just right there have an episode of anguish, of self defeat, because sometimes people is not gonna know what to do, and just right there, people, for the better of their health, for the sake of their health, they need to move away from there, right? If people get a good real estate, and if they just to move where it looked, or it might look like a better way for to make a living, it's just better just to sell the house and to move to another way, that to keep fighting all these people who eventually will do nothing else but just to harm you, right? Or to harm others. A lot of people worry too much about financial resources, right? And we go to the same thing. People need to get into the habit of going to school and send the children to the school, because if people already knew what is really happening to them, that are really suffering, that they can take, knowing that there's not enough resources for everything, that only with a certain credentials, with a certain amount of skills and training in regards to some area, will provide you a better way of living. And even though if you open a business of your own, your license, your credential will take you where you need to. A lot of people say, well, I don't have education, I don't know what to do. The general education testing, right, which is the GED, will provide you a way to make it. And after that, you can go through the workforce, right, and workforce solutions in order to get a training that is going to be paid off for the person to have the credentials in order to get yourself working and in the way to make a living. You can always train others. You can always share your knowledge with other people who might have concerns and what to do, because the skills that somebody might have can be improved by getting extra training as instructor, and eventually you can have like a home business, and you can have extra revenue for the day and work the days you don't have to go to work, right? For the job in the afternoons, for the job in the evenings, right? And also people can contact you. You can make your own name company, and have two, three people helping you out to take care of some other people in your time, your spare time. A lot of people, they go to companies. They go to companies to hire you. But there are certain jobs in the area that if you know people a certain age, if you know people with certain needs, you can always ask them if they need somebody reliable, if they would like to have somebody who has the skills you have, and they can perhaps give you a way to hire you, because the person who needs the change, and if you have the level that uh, they need for you to be there, they can just choose you and call the representatives and just place you in the way so you can be working for them immediately, right? And that's a very nice way to help you out as you go to have training, as you graduate or receive your diploma, in order to have you working with people, right? A lot of people will say that they are very tired to work with people, because people do not understand what it takes to work for somebody, right? They don't understand how much investment people have already put in order to be there to help them out with their living, right? And that's something that cannot be taken against the person who are paying your salary, because you just have to let go. You just have to work out with yourself, thinking that maybe along the way something was missing, that along the way something was not completed, that along the way something got too fulfilled for the person to not recall or understand your needs. Whether that you can take like a part-time in another place, and eventually if you like that kind of job or that kind of people, you might be able to exchange or to look for somebody else who can fulfill for you instead of just walking away, right, without responsibility for the person, right? Because to be sure that you can have an open reference and good reference, right? It is always important to just call somebody, right, which is responsible as you are, so those people can be also in charge, and eventually if they don't like it, they just call the representative and ask the people to put somebody else, and just tell the other person that you call somebody else for whatever the reasons, right? But the reference has to be open. Just keep the reference open all the time, right? When the person have a bad temper, right? And if you don't like to handle people with bad temper, right? And you don't have nowhere else to work, right? Call the representative and ask them to as you walk in, starting your time in the place where you have to work, to be with you at least for 2 3 minutes, right? And to review the things, and then just talk to the person to find out what is the state of mind, because a lot of people, when they see after 15 20 days, and they see the same person, and they see this, they might take it for granted. For some reason, people get tired to see the same face, the same people every single day, and I don't know what. And I said some people. I'm not saying that it's everybody's, right. When these situations happen, right, it is very important to just to call the representative for them to come and stay with you at least 2 or 3 minutes, and they can walk away. But as soon as possible, as some other openings are available, just um, present the scene that you have every single day with these people, so everybody, or maybe one or two witness can give testimony of what you have, so that way it won't interfere with your references, right? So keep the path open for opportunities, for better opportunities. um, all those things are very important to watch for, right? When the person gets really violent and screaming at you, you don't have nothing else but just tell them, I will have to turn off all the things that you have on, the water, if you go to around the house, the lightings that you have on, the whatever machines you have around, you have skills and credentials for put away all the medications and all the medicines and everything that you have around there. Put them as far as you can, where the patient is not going to step on, or just to fall into, right? um, and just tell the person that you have to walk away, and call one of their elders, brothers, sisters, anybody in the family, and call your representative that you have to walk away because there's been a scene of violence, right? And so by doing that, you can keep your reference open, right? You cannot hang around in a violent environment, because that's not the idea of having some professionals working around people, right? Whether if it's in a hospital, whether if it's at home. Um, People, and when there is a way of having violence around, and the people need some medication, there are watches of maybe 3 hours where only one person rides and watches the person each 15 minutes, right? Because they can harm themselves, right? And that's a watch of just to see the person, to perhaps follow them, right, and follow like 10 people at the same time to see what they're doing, right. Obviously that you are in the same area, you're watching what they do, they don't harm themselves, and they can take their medication on time, right, and that they're not bleeding, that they're not causing harm to others, right. And eventually you just watch whatever there are, that they're not sharp objects, that they're not hot cups of water, that they're not going to have sharp containers, and that they're watching. If they ask you to help them out with something, just go and see if there is something you can help them with, and if it's not, just call somebody else to be with you to strengthen the command, so you can come with the other person and explain to them, and as you have a witness that there is an item that they're looking for is not available, so they can be safe in their own mind, and they can be safe in the surrounding areas, knowing that what they're asking for is not available, right? And um, and this can happen in the hospital or outside the hospital, right? A lot of people, when they come in a certain age and they don't walk out too much and they live lonely, they imagine things. They start talking with themselves, and start hallucinating and talking about things that you just have to be patient and do your job and do your work actually, and just walk away from there at the right time, right, and write the notes or whatever that you saw, and just turn it in with a representative. You have to report everything that is going on around there, because that's your reference. That's the clean path you're making to yourself, because something can happen to the people, whether it's with the children, whether if it's with the husband, or whether if it's with some neighbor. We never know, because a lot of people, they have their doors open, everybody walks in and they make a living, they chat and they do whatever, and just to keep your reference open all the time, especially if you have a home business too, right? The talking in regards of the services in the medical side, right, which is one of the things we are strengthening in our area, with the intentions to bless people and to help people, and there is a lot of blessings, right. We heard already, and we already know how much Jesus Christ cared for people, right. He was king of his people, right. We already know how many kings the Arab people have already, how much they organize, and how much they and how they work their strategies in order to invest their richness, and how hard they work their lands, and how hard they work their families in order to conquer, in order to make things happen, right, for their countries. The best thing that we found lately is that they found oil in their land, that they have gold, and that they have transformed substances in order to make silver in a better way, in order to have it marketable. And there's so many medicines, there's so much going on, vaccines in regards of um, computer virus, and some technological diseases that people sometimes might get into, right? And there's we cannot get into this kind of it requires some other kind of classes that we don't have it right now, right? But we see that it's not hard to believe that Jesus Christ was the king of his people. He was the king, and he fed a lot of people, right, in the holy scriptures, right. The reason that we mention this one is that we have a path to train ourselves with a Christian mind that person needs the help, right? And it's our responsibility also to make him understand and to guide them into have some education, and not because we're gonna train them in what we believe is innovating, and that we can perhaps think that we can teach them what they should have already known by now. But people at any time can go to school. They can go to night classes, adult classes. They can entertain themselves with different kinds of people, with some kind of ideas, with workshops of many kinds, jewelry, tailoring, um, funeral services, decorations, fashion designing, uh, um, you know, goldsmiths, and there's so many things. There's so many. So you can have revenue, and you can make a path for you in order to be a different and to feel different way, to dress different, to go to school, and even to attend university if you want to, right? Because I know two or three people, they went to college and they were very old and they did good, and they no longer have to be waiting in the long lines with the cold weather. They're old, but they have automobile. They have a heater in their car, and life is better with education, right? We encourage people to go to the closest school, library, to test themselves into how much they have learned along their lives, and to polish their skills, and to not dismay, right? And to be courageous, to keep the move to the next step. Some people might get anxious, and because there's so much to work with, there's so much to hear about, there is so much to memorize in regards to the medical field, right? And really, I'm not gonna argue with you in regards of knowing that some people might say, "Oh, my teacher do not understand me." All these things are really a sacrifice for me to go, because really nobody wants to go and get dirty, and have obnoxious others, and to go around and to victimize by some hateful speeches, and when they will say so many things, right? But the only thing that we can say is that you be patient, right? And just when things like this happen, just say, "Excuse me, let me come back in a second," right? If there's nothing wrong, if it's not an emergency, and ask another person to come to stay there meanwhile you get out from that room. If you're working in the hospital, or if you're working in the house, right? When there is an episode of violence, it's advisable to go two or three and just tackle the subject and get the work done and get out from there, all of them, all of you, right? There is no way that one person can go and do the work on their own. And there is a lot of people who has been already killed by people, and there's some other people who have been already damaged, and it's really amazing how much things can happen when the strategies are not very well in place, right? um, the lessons in regards of the human body and the functions, and how to do superficially are very simple. Everything is to be taken in parts, because you cannot do everything in once, right? Everything is so complex, right? But since you work from the department with the representative since early stage of your life, and if you are very young and you went to do the home aid because you want to be a doctor, or because you want to be a medical assistant, or because you want to be a nurse, or because you just really want to know what's going on, and you decided to go at your 14th birthday, right? And go in summertime, vacation time, and on the on winter time and all the vacations that you have. That's very nice, very lovable. That's I admire you because you do that. That will provide you a very good experience, right? And study your anatomy, your physiology from there, right? Get into the some of the books that are already in the market, right? You will see that you have books online, right? And they have the virtual training. They'll have everything that is going to be by colors, by from the thing start all the way to the end, and you can be having an idea and training yourself the best you can, right? It doesn't have to be like maybe the person who was there didn't help me out, or maybe they decided not to help me out, and I feel so bad and I don't know what to do. And there's always a tutor sessions, right? You can always ask them if they're willing to teach you. The fee for training you in certain areas are from $5 to 10 an hour. So if you see that there is some skills that you want to learn, save your money so you can get your training if you were not able to see, because there's so much people, because you were not able to really see what was going on, right? And that happens to everybody because our classrooms in the university are huge. And sometimes, even though the teacher is just right there, right? A lot of times we're not going to be able to see the wonderful expertise that are there for us to see. But you can, if they're not going to be able to help you out, because I want to tell you honest, and it's really nothing wrong. People is going to go and train the ones who are already advanced. They want the community to have good people, and the sons of doctors who help since they were little, who help them around with the surgical trays, and they know their setups, and they know their sutures already, and they know dissections and different kinds of styles. They already know their job, and everything is just at their fingertips, and it's really good. And for the people who cannot see, make an appointment with the same instructor, or gather together an appointment with another expert just the same like that one, so you can train yourself and make yourself a volunteer of a specific areas. Make yourself a work study in that area that you believe is going to make you weak if you don't work on time, with time. So that's the only thing we can tell you right now, right? And those are very good strategies and advices in regards of working with the medical, and because there is a lot of blessings into the medical field for the people, because the Lord have He let us know the blessings of caring for people, the blessings to allow people to grow a new life, right? Especially with Christ, right? Well, let us give thanks to the Lord because we gathered together today, and we can chat and talk another time. For right now, the Lord bless you, and I'm very happy, right, to be able to talk to you. And let us just join with the rest of the world to pray and praise the Lord, that people can receive their call for their mission in this life, for the profession that they will choose in order to make a better life with Christ. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. The Lord bless you.